Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So basically in today's tutorial we are going to be learning how to make this detachable keyhole top, so it can be worn over your tiny sleeve or tiny strap clothes rather. So this is what we're going to be making in this tutorial. Alright, for my subscribers, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. And for my new subscriber, please endeavor to watch and subscribe to the channel. Alright, so this is what I actually had after I was done with it. So I think it's really nice, and then you can wear it on whatever outfit, even on corsets. Alright, so let's get right into the video. So I've already gone ahead to draft my pattern, as you can see. So I'll be leaving a link to how to draft a basic bodice in this tutorial because I feel it will be helpful. Then aside that, I'll just give a brief explanation of what I have here, what I'll be working with. So there is my neck measurement. So I already have my shoulder measurement, as you can see. So the neck depth of the back is higher, which is 1.5, and then for the front I have 3 inches, as you can see. So I just went ahead to trace both the necklines out on the pattern paper. Alright, so from that point as well, you can see my chest line, which is on 8 inches, as you can see as well. So then on the 10 I have the bust point or the bust line. So those are basically what I have on this pattern paper because that's what I'm going to be needing for this drafting. So again, you can see that I have the front and the back armhole. I've gone ahead to cut using the back armhole, which is the one that is not too curvy. So just go ahead and draft this out. This is actually easy if you've seen the tutorial on how to draft the basic body. So this is just actually on my bust point. Alright, so you can decide to go 1.5 inches above your bust point, but this is what I want. So the 2 inches between my chest line and the bust point is actually perfect for me, so I'll be using this. So you can decide to go 1.5 after your chest line, which is actually fine, but for me I'll be using 2 inches for this. So this actually depends on how long the top will be at the back. So I wanted it to just be exactly on my bust point. So right there you can see I have my shoulder measurement. So I'm just taking us back to how I drafted this. So I have my shoulder measurement right there. Then on the bust point I have my bust measurement, the circumference of my bust divided by 4. I hope this is actually clear, guys. You know I'm going to need that while drawing out my armhole. So that is just what I went ahead to do. I just cut it out. So note that this is actually without an allowance. So this is just the bodice basically on this pattern paper. Alright, now let's get into the tutorial in fully. So on the chest line, I'm going to be going up by 1.5 inches. So this is how I want this to be revealing. So if you want this to be very revealing, you can go up by 2 inches, but I think 1.5 inches is actually okay. So I'm going to be connecting it to the length of the top. So note that if you are going to be drafting the back first, then this pattern is ready to be used for the back pattern. So I'm going to just be tracing out the front pattern on this. So just go ahead and make a curve. So you can also use your free hand to make a curve from the end of that part to the 1.5 inches you went up by in this side. I really hope this is clear. So I went up by 1.5 inches here, and remember that I already have 2 inches between my chest line and my bust point on this part. So now I'll be cutting it out. But guys, please cut out the back piece before you cut out the front piece. So that will be clear in a while. Alright, so this is the neck for the back, like I said. So the neck for the back is actually higher. So that's the first neckline I'm going to be cutting. So the wideness of this is 3 inches and then the depth is 1.5 inches. So this is what the back measurement is. Alright, so this was actually what I was saying. As you can see now, I have to pin down the patterns back in order for me to be able to cut out my back piece. I already went ahead to separate it. So in that part I have 1.5 inches for my zipper allowance. So go ahead and rule out your 1.5 inches for your zipper allowance before placing this pattern on it. So guys, be careful not to also cut out the front before you use it for the back pattern. Then in the front part where you can see me touching, I'm going to be adding 1 inches to that part. Right, so add 1 inches, then I'm going to be adding half inches as well to the shoulder of this, then to the length of this as well. So this was what I had. As you can see, I went ahead to add the allowance, so please go ahead and do the same thing. So for mine, I'm using a material of about 1.5, so I'm not going to be cutting out the zip allowance with mine. I'm just going to be attaching it later. Alright, just go ahead and open this up now. So you have this in 2 pieces in order for you to be able to fix in your zipper, because else you will not be able to put this on. So this is what the back looks like. Now we're going to be drafting the front now. So I've gone ahead to fold my material into 2 again, as you can see. So now I'm going to be cutting out the back neckline so that I have just the front neckline, and then I'll be cutting out the back armhole, so I'll be left with the front armhole as well. So just take your time to do this. This is actually clear, and if you have any question, please don't forget to leave your questions in the comment section. Alright, so I'll be cutting out the back armhole now, so I'll be left with the front armhole. So guys, after I'm done with this, I'll just go ahead and place the pattern paper on the cloth, on the fabric rather, folded into 2. Then I'll go ahead and add those allowances I added for while drafting the back piece. Keep in mind that both lengths must be equal on the side, on that curvy part where the top ended, so you want to make sure that is accurate. So I'll just pin this down as well, making sure that I have 1 inches on this part for me to be able to stitch it down, then half inches on the shoulder. So I'm going to have 1 there, then I'm going to have half inch on the shoulder in order for me to be able to join this back. Also, I will have half inch on that part as well. So this is what it looks like after drawing out the allowances, as you can see. Now just go ahead and cut this out. So this is what my back pattern looks like. As you can see, I just went ahead to cut out the allowance for the zipper separately. So this is the sleeve. I'm working with a flace sleeve, so it's actually going to be very bogus. So I'll just go ahead to measure 5 inches right there. It is actually a free sleeve, but just take note of what I have as my armhole and then freely sketch this out. So I'm just going to be using my free hand because the sleeve has no tightening. So there is what I have from my armhole. Then I'll just blend it into this part. So having done this, I'll go ahead again to confirm if I have what will be okay or what will go round for my armhole. I hope this is really clear, guys. Then go ahead and cut this out. So this is what I have. As you can see, I cut both the sleeves together, so this is me just opening it all up. Now I already went ahead to cut lining pieces for the yoke and then for the back as well. So I'll be placing the lining on the front of the fabric, just as you can see me doing. So go ahead and do this. Please, you want to make sure you are using a pin to hold this down, because this can really be annoying, especially the curvy part. So that you don't work twice, please go ahead and use a pin to hold this down. Then stitch on the neck. After you've stitched on the neck, stitch on that part and then on the curvy part. So just leave out the shoulder and the armhole. Again, leave out the shoulder and the armhole and go ahead and turn every other part. So for the back as well, I'm going to be leaving out the shoulder and the armhole. Then I'll go ahead to turn every other part with 1/2 inch. So those parts you can see me touching at the part I'm going to be turning. Then the armhole and the shoulder again will be left out. So guys, this is what I had after I was done turning. So that is the front, and then this is the back. So I'll just give tiny notches round it so that it will sit properly for me to iron. So just be careful while doing this and make sure you don't cut on your seam lines. Right, so I'll do that for the neck as well. Right, so this is what I had after I was done ironing. So this is me just basically marking out my zipper allowance. Then I'm going to be drawing it with a straight line. Then I'll pin it down. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to iron this part so that I have a straight line from the iron, which will demarcate where I'm going to insert my zip. So I'm just going to go ahead now and open that all up. So this is what it looks like. So now I'm going to be joining the shoulder. Now this part can be a bit tricky, but it is quite easy to get. So what I always do is lining to lining, the fabric to the fabric, lining to lining, fabric to fabric. So you want to make sure that the two joining of the shoulder are actually facing each other or inside each other. Then go ahead and stitch with 1/2 inch. So this was what I had after I was done with that, as you can see. So doing this, you have all seam allowance inside, and it is actually the neatest. So now I'm going to be fixing in my sleeve. So now I'll just go ahead and notch the center of this sleeve in order for me to get the middle of it. So notch it on that part. So after you're done notching, that center part is going to be on the shoulder line as well. So that will demarcate the center of it. So you're going to sew from that part you've notched downwards, then from the other side again to the other down part. So I'm just go ahead and pin down those 2 points I notched. Now arrange this with a pin and then take this to my sewing machine and iron. So this is what I'm going to be stitching down. I'm just going to arrange it this way and then for the other way. Then I'll be back to show us what it looks like. So please go ahead and take your time while doing this as well. So guys, this was what I had. As you can see, I've gone ahead to fix the 2 sleeves and it came out really nice. Now for the zipper, I already went ahead to iron it and then I fixed it, and this is what it looks like. So this really came out nice and beautiful. Thank you so much for watching, and please, if you've not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe and don't forget to leave your questions if there's any in the comment section. Thanks a lot guys.